Good evening, everyone. We can start the sessions or we can wait for somebody's. Okay, good. Today's section it's a critical topic for every engineer. Yes, that is risk management in engineering projects. Guys, you will be involved in designing, planning, and executing projects that may cost crores, maybe impact public safety, and operate under tight timelines, right? So, in such high strike environment, even the small mistake or overlooked detail can lead to delays, especially cost overruns or worse, the system failure and safety hazards also. So that's where risk management enter in that field. So today we will explore what risk really means in the engineering world, why it's so important to manage this proactively, and how the professional use structured method, especially tools to handle uncertainty in projects. So today's sessions we will cover what is the key type of risk, like technical, financial, or legal, or environmental, like what are the types are available. Another thing is the risk management process, for example identify to monitoring. Then what is the practical tools and technique used in the risk management area, and one or two real time case studies also to connect with this concept. Okay, so by end of the sessions you will understand how to integrate the risk thinking in your own engineering work, whether it's college project or internship or your future job. Okay, so let's begin. Yes. Guys, let's begin with the basic idea of risk. In engineering, risk refer to the possibility of the undesirable event that may happen during the life cycle of your project, from design, maybe construction to operation. So it could impact safety, performance, cost, as well as schedule. So for example, if you are designing a bridge, a risk could be that the selected material don't withstand local weather conditions, which might lead to structural failure or delay. So the second, what is the importance of risk management in projects? Why is risk management is so important, especially well in the engineering field, or often complex, expensive, and time sensitive also. So the risk management helps in identifying the potential problems before they happen. That is most important. Second one is planning how to deal with them. Then reducing the loss or damages, then improving the project success rate. So these are the things is involved in the risk management. That's why the risk management, we are saying that it's a most important concept in the engineering projects. A well managed risk approach means better safety, more efficient work, and it's reduce some cost also. Now we can discuss about that types of risk, especially the risk, break them down one by one with some example. First one is technical risk. They are related to the design, technology, or equipment used. For example, using untested technology in a new power plant. Yes, could lead to failure or redesign. So this is for technical risk. It's happening for technical risk. For untested technology we have used. Second one is financial risk. This include for uh, lack of knowledge in budgets, then funding delays or cost inflations. Maybe, for example, if material price suddenly go up, okay, so your project may exceed budget. So it is that comes under that financial risk. Then if you go for legal risk, these related to law, contract or some regulations. Example, your design does not meet government safety regulations. Your project might face some penalties or get cancelled, right? That is legal risk. Another thing is environmental risk. These related to how the project impact the environment, and especially how the natural fact affect the project. Yes, example, building a dam without proper environmental study may lead to some illegal issues or some flooding also. So these are the things involved in the environmental risk. So let take a minute. uh, we can discuss one point here, right? uh, Please, can you think of one technical or environmental risk in a project you have studied or worked on? Anyone? Please unmute and just participate the discussion. Again, once again I repeat the questions. Can you think of one technical or environmental risk in your project you have? Yes, maybe studied or at present you are worked in that part time or whatever maybe. Anyone? It's okay. Yes, we are working every field. Yes, especially the engineers working some sectors, right, in the construction field, especially for power plant or cement plant or whatever may be, right? The four risk mainly involved in the every sector, every profile also. So next we can see, now that we have understood the importance of the risk management, let's look at some common risk engineers deals with the real world projects. The first one is design errors and miscalculations. You know, imagine the designing a water pipeline system, if the diameter or pressure capacity is miscalculated, right? Just to imagine, it could lead to system failure or flooding. Yes or no? Yes, right? So these mistakes can be costly and dangerous. So that's why accurate data, simulations, and peer review are essential before implementations, right? So the second one is delay due to supply chain issues. Even the best design project can get delayed if material don't arrive on time. Example, the during that COVID-19, yes, the pandemic situation, the many construction projects were delayed because the steel and other material could be shipped, could not be shipped, right? So the risk management here means having the backup suppliers or buffer timeline in the schedule. The third common error is budget overruns. This is very common, especially in large infrastructure or civil project. It's maybe happen. For example, yeah, the project estimated cost 10,000 crores, maybe, right? It shoot up to 14 crores due to underestimate cost. maybe its influence or last minute changes or like that. Another thing is, that the regular cost tracking and contingency budgets are ways to manage the risk. Another fourth one is safety and compliance risk. The engineering projects must follow the strict safety law and standards. Previously, two sections we have discussed about their safety management also, right? So, if a site does not follow the safety rules, it can lead to accident, legal actions, or even shutdown of the project or companies also. So the safety audit, training, and the legal checks are the key tools to reduce this risk, right? So the common risk, yes, for engineers or especially many sectors, it's happened frequently. Yes, so but how the engineers to overcome that issues, how to we can manage, that is the risk management concept just to be entered in our content of the material, right? Second, next one is risk management process. The structured way any sectors deals with risk in a project is the risk management cycle. That is, there are four key steps involved in this risk management process. First one is risk identification. This is the first step and spotting the risk. Here, what could go wrong? Maybe. Yes, in a bridge construction project, risk could be fault soil data or unexpected rainfall, maybe the equipment failure. So here, what tools we want to be get it? That is brainstorming, then expert opinions, then checklist and past project experience, right? So this way we can identify the projects. Say the risk identification. Uh, Second one is risk assessment. Once the risks are identified, before I'm telling maybe the risk may be identified, expert opinion, maybe the checklist from past projects, maybe follow that brainstorming technologies, we can easily to identify the risk, right? Second one is after identified, we can assess the risk. How? The two type of assessment is there. One is qualitative assessment, second one is quantitative assessment. The qualitative assessment, we rank the risk by its likelihood, maybe low, medium, high, and impact also minor, major, critical. That way we can assess the risk. Then quantitative means we assign the numbers, like there is a 30% of change, the budget could exceed by 10 crores projects likewise. So this helps in prioritizing which risk to address first. Yes, the minor risk means we can we can access later, little bit later. The critical assessment means that we can find out the assessment in the critical way. The critical area means definitely immediately we want to rectify. So the based on that, the risk assessment helpful for us, which one is take the most priority. Another one is risk mitigating planning. Now we can plan how to reduce or control the risk. That stage is risk mitigation plan. Maybe if material delivery might delay the project. Yes, for example, ordering earlier, choosing local suppliers instead of international, or keeping buffer stock. Yes, these are the steps where we prepare a plan B for all critical issues. Yes, another thing is we are always having their alternative plans also, right? So this way we can risk mitigation planning maybe work out to reduce the risk or control the risk. Last step is risk monitoring and reviews. Risk are not static, right? It's an unexpected one. So during the project, we monitor in closely if any risk are getting worse or if new risk are emerging. So the regular interview, maybe site inspections and meetings, regular meetings helps keep risk under control and plans updated. It is a continuous process throughout the project life cycle. Yes, so the fourth stage, I hope that you have understand about the process of risk management. The next one is risk. Yes, now that we can know the first step of risk management is risk identification. Let's understand how the engineers actually identify the risk in projects. Yes, there are several techniques are there, and here are some common used one is brainstorming and expert interviews. Previous slides we can just to see that a brief. Right now we can see that see that detailed explanations about their risk management process. So this is one of the simplest and the most common method, the brainstorming. It's bring together a team, engineers, managers, site supervisors. What could possibly go wrong? So the expert from similar past project often know whether the typical risks are, example, before designing a flyover, interviewing a senior civil engineers may reveal potential soil erosion or land acquisition delays. Then checklist and historical data analysis. You know that the past project can teach us a lot, right? The previous project we can take that's why every end of the project we can go for post review. Yes, so we can review for we can refer for post reviews automatically. We just to be get it. Yes, based on that we can use the checklist of risk faced in earlier project. So this helps make sure you are not missing something in common. So analyzing their historical data also, like project reports or delay records. So delay records can show patterns and frequent risk areas also. Uh, Example, if 3 out of 5 power plant project had issues with turbine imports, so there is a flagged risk. So automatically we knows that automatically we just to be twice price, we just to be monitoring their turbine import, right? So next one is SWOT analysis. This way also we can easily to identify the risk. So this is the, you know that now the SWOT analysis, it's towards to changes for SWOT. Previously we can say that strength, weakness, opportunity and threats. Now we can change for strength, weakness, opportunities and challenge instead of threats. So this is the strategic tool that helps understand the risk from multiple angles. You know, the engineers, it helps spot internal weakness and external threats, right? Every project we want to be the engineer's main focus is we can increase the strength and opportunities at the maximum. We can eliminate the at the minimum of weakness and threats. Another thing is what is the failure mode and effect analysis, right? That is FMEA. That is the failure mode and effect analysis. It is also one of the technical method used mostly in designing and manufacturing. You know that we look at every part of the system and ask what can fail, why would it fail, then what would be the impact if it failed. So that question is we can frequently to ask for each part of the system, each part of the system. So in designing on engine, the failure mode and effect analysis might reveal that a cooling system failure could lead to
Ma'am,
Yes, Charan, do you have any questions? Do you need any clarification? Okay. So it become a high priority risk.
ma'am, I want to know, please.
Yes, Said?
Yeah, risk management process. Yes, I want to know risk assessment, qualitative and quantitative. Please, can you repeat?
Yeah, actually risk management process having their 4 steps, right?
Yeah,
Identifications,
right.
sorry? Yes, Said?
Yes, it's four step, but I want to the second step. Please. Risk assessment,
Assessment, right?
qualitative and quantitative. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
if you go for that next slide also, assessment slide only, because previously I briefed very short, then only I just to slide by slide I am just to explain in detail, right? So the next slide that is assessment. Yes, the side just to be asked one explanation, full explanation of risk assessment. After identify the risk, the next step is to assess them. Previously we can discuss about that the assessment having their 2 type. One is quantitative assessment, then second one is qualitative assessment. That is the meaning we figure out how likely they are to happen and how bad the impact would be, right? So let's explore the common risk assessment methods used in every engineering project. The first one is possibility and impact matrix. This is the very popular and visual tool. You know, on one side, you rate the possibility of the risk, like low, medium, high. On other side, the impact is low, medium, high, right? So the possibility of the risk also having in qualitatively low, medium, high. The same thing in the impact also low, medium, high. So the possibility also 3, the impact also the 3 level. So then you plant each risk on a grid. Risks that are highly probability and high impact go into the red zone. Those are your top priorities, right? The possibilities, you just to think that these are the possibility area, these are the impact area. So the possibility is also low, medium, high. Impact also divided 3, low, medium, high. So which one is high
Superiority.
risk is there? Yes, so the automatically the red zone, it comes to the high priority means it's showing their red zone. So automatically we can go for that high priority things. That is the meaning here. Yes, the probability, for example, sometimes the probability low also, impact is high. So automatically we can go for that impact area, not in the probability areas, right? So we can always focus in the impact, which impact having their high risk. Yes, don't need to bother about their possibilities, because the possibility initial stage, initial auditing, we can find out, but that impact, the assessment only we can find out their impact stage. So here in that assessment areas, we want to be focused in the impact, which impact having their high risk, we can give that priority, top priority of the particular zone. Example, in a highway project, risk of flooding in monsoon might be high impact and high probability. So it becomes a red zone risk. The risk prioritizations. Once the risks are assessed, we rank them based on how serious they are. The goal is to focus time and budget on the most critical one first. We can use the risk score like multiplying probabilities into impact. To assign here, it is the formula. Yes, what are the probabilities there? Yes, multiply. Yes, for example, 3 most probability is there. 3 factors means into impact. This is the formula of assessing their risk score. So to assign a value and short them. Third one is quantitative methods. These methods use number, statistics and software models to analyze the risk in detail. Let me explain 2 common ones, that is Monte Carlo simulations. Yes, you know the simulation techniques, it's one of the method, right? It's using their quantitative assessment. It's like running thousands of possible scenarios using random values to see what could happen in a project. Example, in a construction project, it might stimulate cost outcome 10,000 times based on variable inputs like fuel prices, materials delay, to show the range of possible total cost. The second one is, the first one is Monte Carlo simulations. That simulation is helpful for to assess the risk assessment. Yes, what way means it's comparing their possibility as well as impact. Okay, second one is sensitivity analysis. This shows which input variables affect the output the most. For example, you are designing the solar plant. Just to be take the example, so the sensitive analysis might show that efficiency depends most on temperature changes or panel quality. So the engineers can focus risk control on those sensitive factors, right? So automatically we can take that risk assessment. Yes, these are the technique. For example, simulations, sensitivity analysis, and probability and impact comparison factors, risk prioritizations, everything helpful for assess the risk. Yes, what way we can simply, how we can assess the risk, quantitative or qualitative, right? Based on that, quantitative means you know that it's taking their low, medium, high. Yes, that quantitatives, it's describing their number, statistics, right? If you go for in further depth means some of calculation also is there. Yes, but now we can't to focus that general risk management, all the formulas, everything to here. If you want, we can take one sections for risk assessment in separate. Okay, I hope that side it's it's a little bit clear. You got it right. I hope that you got some clear about that risk assessment.
Yes, ma'am. The failure
ma'am.
mode
Got it.
analysis, the incident will happen, we will implemented or before.
Sorry, Sir Charan. Actually, your voice is not. Actually, I can't able to hear your voice
Ma'am,
clearly.
failure mode analysis before the incident we will calculate or incident will happen after that we will calculate that.
No, the risk assessment is before we assess. That is the risk management strategy, na?
I'm asking
Before
about the failure mode
happening.
analysis, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, I
Sorry.
understood, ma'am. I asking about the failure mode analysis, ma'am. Before the incident happen,
Yeah.
or
I just to discuss about one by one. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Okay. The next slides it will cover. Don't worry about that. Next one is risk mitigation strategies. That is, you know that there are four main strategies used in engineering project management. Let me break them down for you with some examples. I mean, some simple examples. One is avoidance, that is eliminate the risk. You know that this means it's changing your plan so the risk does not exist at all. Example, if building near a flood prone river is risky, right? So you might change some location completely, that risk avoidance. So it's often the best strategy, but not always possible. Second strategy is reduction, that is minimize likelihood or impact. Here we don't remove the risk, but we try to reduce its changes or lessen the damage if it happened. Example, in a manufacturing project, if machine failure is a risk, installing sensor and doing regular maintenance, I mean safety audit, it's reduce the risk or it's reduce the likelihood of breakdown. So this is one of the common strategies in the mitigating their risk. Third one is transfer, that is shift the risk to someone else. Example, taking insurance or outsourcing part of the project. Yes, we don't have such a skilled labors, so automatically we outsourcing the part of the project. So you hire the super contractor to handle the electrical work. Now any delay or failure, it the part become their responsibility. So fourth one is acceptance, that is acknowledge and prefer. Sometimes the cost or effort to avoid or reduce a risk is too high, so you accept it, but you must still plan for it. That is, if there is a 5% change of minor delays due to local traffic, you might accept the risk but add a few buffer days to your project schedule. This is the way we can mitigating their risk. Next one is, you know that what are the tools we have used for risk management. Yes, we can avoid the risk, we can reduce the risk, we can for example, acceptance the risk, everything is okay, but what are the tools we have used? We can reduce or identify our risk management process. The first one is you know that common tools used in the industry. First one is risk register. that is one of the most basic essential tools. You know, the risk register is a table or documents where all identify the risk are recorded along with description of the risk, likelihood and impact of the risk, mitigation plan and responsible person, then status, open, ongoing, resolved, everything. Think of it as a live risk dashboard that gets updated regularly as the project moves forward. Example, in a software implementation project, the registrar might show data loss during the migration of the risk along with step 2 back by data. So the second one is the project management software. You know, MS Project and Primavera, that is these are the software mainly helpful for project management students. You know, nowadays it's a lot of multi-cosmosities. The MBA project management specialization is it's very grown up. Yes, because the project management area, lot of job opportunities are available. So that's why the students also showing their interest to selecting their MBA project management. In that MBA project management, some software, especially MS Project, then Primavera, then another some of the tools also, you know, Jira, agile management. These are the things is helpful for develop that project, especially to you students are getting their job from the IT sectors also. So these tools help to manage large and complex project with multiple timeline, resources and risk factors also. You know, you can use the tools like MS Project for scheduling, tracking and risk logs. Everything we can possible to use the Microsoft Project. In Primavera, by you know that it's using for Oracle. Yes, so often used in large scale infrastructures and construction project. So these software platform help visualize how delays or resource issues can affect the project timelines, making them useful for risk planning and monitoring. The next one is, you know, failure mode and effect analysis. The Charan also just to be focusing their MSEA. Yes, now we can discuss these failure mode and effect analysis. It is one of the technical tool used during the design, manufacturing or quality control stage. The MFEA helps identify the potential failure point in a system. So, evaluate how serious they are and how we can prioritize them. So, the failure mode and effect analysis helpful for before it's happening. So, automatically this model helpful for identify their forecasting, right? So another one is the root cause and analysis tools used when something goes wrong. It helps figure out the real reasons behind the issues, not just the symptoms. That is most important. What is the root cause? Yes, uh, something is goes wrong means the auditing system is goes wrong. I mean, the we failure we face for auditing systems, or in the risk identification areas we just to be loosed out, or in the time of assessment area we can properly we can't able to monitor, or what is the root cause we want to be final analyze in that root cause analysis method. So the tools like fishbone diagram, or that 5 ways are used to track back to the root cause. So if if a machine keeps overheating, the root cause analysis might reveal that poor ventilation is the real issues, not the motor, right? So that is the root cause. So the motor, it's not a problem. The poor ventilation, that's why the motor should be heat. So that's why we just to find out that root cause. Next one is, now let's see how the risk management works in a real engineering projects. This will help you connect all the concept we have discussed so far. That now we are just to taking one example case study for here, the Delhi Metro phase 2 expansion. Here the project background is, the client, who's the client for this Delhi Metro Rail Corporations. The scope of this project is expanding metro line across Delhi to reduce the traffic congestion. That is the scope. The timeline is 2005 to 2011. So the budget is 8,000 plus crores, 8,000 crores plus. So identifying here, so the risk identification is, that 4 types of risk, all type of risk is involved here. The first one is technical risk is tunneling under densely populated area with old buildings. That is technical risk. The financial risk is raising cost due to inflation and delay in procurement. The environment risk here is the groundwater seepage and impact on nearby ecosystems. So this is for environmental risk. Then legal and compliance, the land acquisition issues and coordination with multiple government bodies. So these are the risk involved. So another thing is how the risk management action taken. So how the risk management team to overcome their risk. The first one is risk identifications, used expert consultation and historical project checklist from phase 1. The time of during their phase 1, how they were faced such issues. So the historical project checklist, everything referred. Second one is conducted geotechnical survey to identify the tunneling risk. Then risk assessment here is create probability impact matrix for every major site. Probability impact matrix, right? So the high risk zone, like yes, Mahendra?
इधर में
Yes. So the high risk zone like Chandani Chowk, it's were flagged for special planning. So the risk mitigation strategy. What are the mitigation strategies here implemented? That is, avoidance means rerouted certain stretches, certain sensitivity heritage sites, so rerouted. Then reduction is used advanced tunnel boring machines because they're reducing their vibrations or noise. Then transfer issue insurance and contract guarantees for delay for damage. Then acceptance, minor delay in non-critical zones were accepted with buffer dates added. So these are the mitigation strategies followed. Then what are the tools? That is Primavera for project scheduling and high risk tracking, then daily site level risk register and dashboards. So what are the especially they following their root cause analysis also used during their first phase. What is the failure, how we can improve the phase 2. So you just to think that this case study, it's covered their entire sessions, risk management process, then what are the risks are available, I mean types of the risk, how the risk management action should be taken. So all the things covered for this case study, that's only I'm just to giving their example for here. Yes, then finally what is the outcome of the project? The project completed within a reasonable time framework with minimal accident. That is the success of the project. Second one is that recognized as one of the India's best managed public infrastructure projects. Yes, in that metro rail corporations now, it's getting their some recognitions also. That is also one of the success of that project. Another thing is the risk management helped avoid some major and technical and environmental setbacks. So these are the success affect, I mean just to giving their potential delivery system of the projects. So that's why we are say that Delhi metro rail system project is success. Yes, then finally it's a closing area, that is conclude today's sections with a few key takeaways about risk management, especially in every engineering sectors. The first one is risk management is essential in every engineering projects, right? We can't, how the stress, yes, every person having their stress, we can't to ignore the stress, right? We can manage, but we can't ignore. Even the cheese, even small child also having their stress. Even the 5 years old boy or girl also having their stress. We want to complete that ABCD homework. Yes, today. Then we go for 5 days in schooling. So that is also stress. Even the 90 years old man also having their stress about take care of their, I mean the less caring about their children's. So every person, not only the professional working professional, not only they are professional level people, even normal level people also having their stress. But the stress we can't to omit, right? But we can manage. The same thing also risk also we can't omit, but we can predict. Yes, we can manage through risk management. That is the concept of today's sessions. Whether you are designing a dam or developing a software design or managing a factory floor, risk are everywhere. So proactively identify and managing these risks is not optional. It is the core part of the professional engineering practice. Second one is proactive planning saves time, cost, as well as lives. So the engineering failures can lead to budgets, overruns, even missed deadlines, or even disaster. By planning ahead and preparing for what could go wrong, we avoid unnecessary delays, control the cost, and most importantly, protect human lives. Then engineers should integrate risk thinking into all stage of project life cycle, from design to construction, from testing to maintenance. The risk awareness should be continuous. So make it a habit to access at every stage what are the potential risk here, what can we do about them, then are we monitoring them well or not. So as a future engineers, your job is not just to build, right? It's to build safety, efficiency, as well as that sustainability also. That is most important. So the risk management is the mindset that makes that possible. Yes. So you know that if having any questions, please. But today's sections, we have just to be the 1 hour. We want to be understand what is risk, what are the risk is available. What are the risk is normally we can face in that engineering field, how we can normally overcome the risk. That is risk management. Generally, we have discussed about that risk management. If you go for in depth means, because especially what way we can focus more, especially risk management process. Yes, the first one is risk identification. Lot of methods is behind for the risk identification, especially you know that some methods also available. Yes, so we can easily to overcome their to identifications, right? So the assessment also, we having some methods also is there. Even if you go for example, the failure mode and the effect analysis, the root cause analysis, even that identification, brainstorming, we can take even many of the classes we can possible to engage. For example, a risk identification brainstorming method, we can possible to take minimum 1 hour. Yes, another thing is that checklist. What are the risk identification checklist is there? Lot of checklist category is there. The one sections not enough to explain all the checklist also, right? So the risk management, you having their separate chapter means the next upcoming sections we can take any one of the methods to explain. Okay, going to explain, it's not a problem. But in general, do you have any doubt? Please ask me.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening.
Regarding this, the risk mitigation. Now,
Sorry.
the risk mitigation.
Sorry, I can't understand, Charles.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm asking some questions regarding the risk mitigation strategies.
Strategies, you are asking that strategy.
Yes, regarding the risk mitigation strategies.
Yeah, actually the mitigations now, it's having their few strategies is there. That is, you know, that avoidance. Second one is reductions. Third one is transfer. And fourth one is acceptance. You
Yeah,
know that
is this related to business, like
mitigation
business?
strategies. This is for mitigation strategy.
Okay, because regarding risk mitigation in engineering for safety, there are other methods we use
Yeah, it's
for.
for a risk mitigation strategy. Actually, it's not, we can say that it's not a safety mitigations, right? It is that
Okay.
common. We can, you know, that safety audit, it's a final stage, right? But
Yes.
risk management, it's started from earlier. Yes, after completion of the risk management process, then only finally we can start for audit inspection of the audit. That is safety audit comes to last. So this is for risk mitigation strategy, not in the safety mitigation strategy. Okay, so the
Okay. So this is
avoidance for Yes,
So
Charles.
this is general. This mitigation strategies is general for the whole industry.
Any industries, I told na, it's even that IT industries also we need for risk mitigation strategy, even cement plant, even that power plant. So the risk mitigation strategies, it's common to all the sectors. We can't to segregate the risk management. Previously I told na, the risk management is common for all the, even not only for construction field, not only for power plant, not only for cement industries. It's the risk management things is common for every sectors. Like how the stress is common for all humans na, the same thing risk also common for, risk management also common for all the sectors.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome, Charles. If any other questions?
Ma'am, the recorded video class is not available in portal, ma'am.
Actually, Adira madam, please kindly look into that. Sharon, do you have any students group now? You
No,
just to
ma'am.
inform to. Sorry.
No group in student. There is a no
Okay.
student group, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just to convey the message to Adira madam. Okay, she's the point of contact to me, so I convey to her. If you want, I'm just send you a PDF or PPT also.
If you possible
my
to
mail.
send it, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Thank
If
you,
you-
Charan.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
If anyone, any questions from your side, student side? It's okay. You don't have any questions, please leave the sessions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, madam.
Please welcome.
Okay,
Thank you,
madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
Thank you,
Thank you.
madam. Thank you.